Hi, everyone. My name is Uche Maple, and welcome to the Women Who Leap Network, where we talk about everything with leadership, entrepreneurship, and living a purpose-driven life. My name is Uche Maple, a 22-year veteran in the aerospace defense sector, working as an engineer, program manager, project manager, all of the above. And now I am the proud owner of the Leadership Institute, where we are empowering today's leaders for tomorrow challenges. And today's topic on what we're talking about is pressure isn't motivation, why purpose wins every time. This is episode 5 of the 6-part series on how to win and influence as a leader. Come on, let's get into it. All right. So here's the thing. When I first started my career, for a long time, I believe pressure was part of being a leader because everyone I saw was always under pressure, under deadlines, under people, under money. So I thought this was the normal thing, right? The urgency, the high expectations. And I told myself, I said, man, pressure pushes people to perform. I used to say this, that I thrive in ever-changing, high intense environments when I would interview. And they were like, great, welcome. But over time, I realized something important. Pressure may produce short-term results, but it's never a lasting commitment, y'all. Don't sell yourself thinking that pressure is something that can be sustainable, because that is a false statement. All right. Because here's the thing. What I actually realized was that pressure doesn't fail loudly. It fails quietly. You're wondering, like, why you in your room crying? Like, I can't do this. I can't do this. Yeah. And it looks like productivity on the surface, but underneath it creates distance, disengagement, and exhaustion. You are constantly tired. You don't want to come into work. You're like, I don't want to do this because it's not maintainable. And once I saw that, I had to be honest with myself about what pressure was really producing. And what it was slowly taking away. And 3 things became very clear to me. The first thing is that pressure created movement, not meaning. When I relied on pressure to get things done, meaning people, I was like, okay, we got 6 months to do this. Let's go, let's go. But what I didn't notice at first was how they got done, right? So people move fast without clarity. How many of you can relate to that? People just like, okay, we got to get this done. They compiled, but without ownership, meaning they just took the work, not necessarily saying, okay, I am responsible for this. They delivered, but was not engaged. Okay, here's the work, and we're just getting this done. So pressure created motion, but not meaning. And without meaning, pressure disengaged the moment. Ooh. Without meaning, people disengage the moment the pressure lifts. They're not bought in anymore, because now that we're under this time constraint, we're like, okay, we're like inhaling. And here's the thing that happens. Most people will leave the project to go find something because they don't want to be in that environment. The second thing that became clear to me was that pressure quietly drains energy and trust. Under pressure, people stop asking questions because you're trying to get it done. They stop offering ideas. They start challenging assumptions, not because they don't care, but because pressure sometimes make it unsafe to think. Because when you start thinking, you have lag time, right? And then you're like, okay, I don't have enough time to think because I got to get this work done. Pressure creates dependence, not empowerment. Yeah, let that sink in. The third thing that became clear to me is that purpose changed how people showed up. When I was working on this project that we had just won, this program we had won, the program manager was a veteran who had been working in a particular industry. And we had our kickoff meeting, and he introduced himself, and his speech was so motivational on why what we were doing was important. And so everyone had a stake in making sure that this thing that we were doing, we were all invested. We started leading with a purpose. And he explained why and not just the what. He was able to connect the work to the meeting and not just the metrics. He was able to clarify instead of add stress. And what I realized is that the purpose gave people a reason to care, even when things were hard. And when people understand why their work matters, they don't need to be pushed. They move with intention because they understand the cost. They understand the cost of what happens when they can't or can't do what they need to do. Here's what I know. Pressure can force performance, but purpose sustains it. If you have to keep pushing people, you're leading with pressure. If you have to keep pushing people, you're leading with pressure. If you have to keep pushing people, you're leading it with pressure. I got to say that 3 times. But when people move because they understand the purpose, you're now leading with influence. And hear me very clearly on this. Influence always outlasts urgency. Thank you. Please subscribe and like and share. We'll see you at the next episode 6.